And we are started. So folks, this is Charlie Cole here, and this is the very first kind of podcast slash Worldcast that we're doing for the world of AIREWOOd. And right here it's the Woods Talk is what the title of this event is. And I have one of the early on members, Ty Johnson, and I'll let him introduce himself after I give him a brief introduction. That was with UAG and hence AIREWOOd from an early state, and now he is a DM in that same world, and we're here today to get his perspective on the growth, the pros, the cons of where we've come from, where we're going to, and what he's seen as a player as compared to as a DM. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ty to go ahead and introduce himself, and then we'll get going.
Thanks, Charlie. I'm Ty Johnston. For those of you who are a member of the Unnamed Adventurers Guild, you probably know me. I'm a dungeon master and a player side of the UAG. Looking for Discord, and feel free to join in a game and get to know us. I'm also of fantasy novels. You can find me on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Kobo or any other sites you your books at. As far as the world of AIREWOOD and Illumina and the UAG goes, so I don't know, how old is it now, Charlie? 4 years, 3 years?
What year is this? 2018. So about 4 years. It was 2014 if my memory serves me right. I'm just a fractionally old fart. My memory isn't as good as I used to be. It's still not bad, but it's still, I'm not as quick. I've slowed down a little bit. Instead of 2 strikes a minute, I get about 1.5.
I'm getting there with you. My girlfriend calls me a grumpy old man all the time. In a way, when I first joined the guild and started playing in Illumina and AIREWOOD, at the time, it didn't feel like the early days or the young days to me. I mean, online gaming has really expanded and grown over the last 5 years. It's kind of odd because the technology has been there probably for 20 years, but it's only really caught on like in big numbers in the last half decade or so. But it didn't feel like the early days to me. I guess at the time, it just felt like one more place to game online because there were a bunch starting to pop up about that time. And the guild had been going for a little while before I popped in. So I felt like a newbie probably for the first year and a half, something along those lines. Good and bad things about the UAG is the people involved are always changing. For a while, and Charlie's been around since the beginning. There's a few other people. Matt has been around a good long while. I think Christopher's been around a while now.
Yeah. Chris has been around for a while. And it started off with Ian Christensen. Let's not forget Dan Harsh. He's had to take kind of a step back piece because of his profession, getting real life there, being a pharmacist stuff, and going through school. So, but I see our friend Dan is slowly getting back where he can engage.
Yeah. Dan's been popping in every now and then the last few months, and I'm glad to see him there and running as a dungeon master again, because he definitely ran some interesting games, sort of back in the day, so to speak, even though that's only a few years ago. But yeah, that, like I was saying, one of the good ends, sort of, I don't know about bad, but about the UAG is the membership not like every day or every week. I mean, we do add people fairly often. But as far as like regular players go, it seems to kind of go in waves. Have one core group of 6 to 12 people, and they'll be around for a few months, maybe even 6 months, and then slowly they kind of peter out and other people come in. So, you know, if you don't play for a year and then jump in, you'll be playing with all new people a lot of times. I don't want to say it's necessarily negative, a negative aspect to that, but I guess some people might consider it that way because you don't always know who you're going to be playing with. But it's always a good, I for the most part, consider it a good thing. I mean, I miss the old people when they leave and they're not around anymore. I still miss Anders showing up from time to time.
Yep. And with that, he's been pretty busy with his product, Comic Book University. But his character was always interesting to play with copyright. You are here, symbol in the world, and such.
With his Comic Book University, and he's been doing a little bit here and there with the Nerdarchy guys. Since I'm here, that's another thing for those of you who don't know. I used to be the site editor for the Nerdarchy crew. No, there wasn't any issue why I left or anything. I just got busy with life and had other things to do, so I had to step back. And who took my place has done an excellent job, and the crew over there. As everybody knows from YouTube, they're doing a great job, and on the nerdarchy.com website, the writers over there, they're also doing a great job and have expanded a lot of things from when I was there a year or so back. But back to AIREWOOD, so yeah, people change and come and go, and the thing or campaign setting has definitely changed. It's really probably changed more in the last 6 months than it had in a long time, and that may be a good thing because, you know, maybe we needed to shake some things up. It seemed like about Christmas time of 2017 or maybe the month before, a bunch of new people interested in the guild. I'm not sure if there that suddenly sprung interest up. I do know we changed about the same time we changed some of the guild rules a little bit. A little easier for characters to move up in character progression and their levels. So maybe that drew more people in, or maybe there's something else I'm not aware of. But we got a bunch of new people in, or at least new to me anyway. And like Alex, for example, became a pretty regular dungeon master, and we've had some other people like Chapo who've been sort of, I don't know what you.
Well, on the point that you're talking about myself, I'd say, yeah, we've had some growth. Some of it spurred by the guild membership in the UAG on what they kind of were liking and wanting. We do take polls or assessments along the way, the mark, say like a waypoint to mark ourselves, so we know where we're going from and how to get back in a way. But yeah, we went to a modified tier system, which is an option in your DMG. Instead of doing 4, we do a 3. And I think that appealed that appealed to a segment of the people. We've gotten a lot more games going on than we had too. And that's I think that's a key thing. And then the style of the DMs that are running, and most of those guys that are running some of those are what we've have put names on as cameo DMs, even though they're quite a lot. It's not like a cameo shot in a movie or TV show. But they're there. They have their style, and they have their arcs, and I think those reach out and touch a segment of our membership gaming community that likes it. Like some of them of that style, and from Matt doing a lot of random encounters, the Chapo doing his what is it, Juve encounters, Alex with his arcs, and my little steady arcs here with the Dark Queen, your maze arc that you ran just the other day or so. Really well received by a bunch of guys with different DMs we got, and that's something for folks to know. It is on the UAG side become a shared world game area in that respect, where you have multiple arcs going on at the same time. Some that are interweaved, some that aren't. So it allows for that easy drop in if you have a busy lifestyle and like that. So, but I'll go back to time.
Okay, and even when there is kind of an ongoing story arc or campaign within the larger campaign, I know Chapo's doing like some stuff on another continent, and then there's my maze stuff, which is basically another world, and a few other people do things like that. The Juve stuff tends to go off into other worlds too, or at least seems to be. I should say all the dungeon masters do a pretty good job of setting things up so that people can drop in and out. You know, like I was saying, even if there's a mini campaign, you've done it too some, you know, if somebody can't make it until the second or third adventure, you know, you usually find a way to do in, or if somebody drops out, you know, depending on the situation, sometimes you got to stretch the bounds of the world's reality a little bit, but you know, we're talking about a world filled with magic, so it can definitely. One of the things that's kind of surprised me, especially in the last month, maybe, or two even, kind of an overall shift away hardcore role playing, and there's been more of a shift towards like random adventures or even like dungeon crawls. And I don't mean that as a criticism at all. It's actually kind of nice. It's not something I would say the UAG as a whole has been really strong on the last few years, but just the last month or two, we've kind of gone in that direction. And it seems like people generally, and that's not to say, you know, we don't have sessions and we won't have sessions in the future where there's stronger role play or more role play, or even a session that's nothing but role play, because there actually sort of behind the scenes is a lot of role play that goes on here on Discord. Even when there's not a game going on, there's a lot of players who get together pretty much daily and do a lot of sort of chat, you know, behind the scenes and stuff, which viewers and now podcast listeners, and even those who just go to the Facebook stuff won't necessarily see all that. So there's a lot of role play going on, but the games lately seem to have been more combat oriented for the most part, not entirely. It's just another sign of sort of a shift of where things go with the guild. And like I was talking about, not only players change and the world changes, but even the type of adventures change. You know, and probably 3 months or 6 months from now, be a trend or a push towards other directions. And it's not good or bad. I think it's just a thing of when Dungeon Master tries something and everybody seems to like it. So that style of adventure or whatever.
Yeah. We're if you want to look at it as a business model, we're in an entertainment. I don't want to use entertainment, but it is kind of, but it's more a service industry, which we're here to bring fun. Is what I guess I'm trying to get out, because the core. Well, our tenants there for our communities is prime is fun. If you look in the DMG around page 4 or so, even in the DMG, Wizard Coast stayed in there. The prime thing is to have fun. Type thing. And I think some of the dynamic shifts that you've talked about really go to that matter. One of the things, and I was prior to this, I was watching some of the latest live chat from Nerdarchy, where they're talking about to this doctor about D&D being used as a therapy, and she has a couple groups that she actually works with in the treatment is D&D. But one of them is a girls group she talked about that she runs like that, and used for helping girls and ladies become more self-empowered. And that's one of the things that thrilled me here in the last about a month. We've seen really a jump percentage-wise, maybe not number-wise, percentage-wise, of how many ladies that have joined into the UAG as members. And some of them, to be honest, to me, from my perspective, seem more bloodthirsty than some of the guys they play, which is really cute to watch play. And I love seeing the diversity that this world system that we have here that's developed and such has brought between ages, between the genders and their representative perspectives on what we're looking for out of the games and out of the worlds. And at the day, we've really accomplished a lot of what we started for, and that's the majority walk away and have invested their time and energy and feel that it's worthwhile and has been fun.
And it's even
and on the Discord piece with the UAG Discord and like that. Back to one DM that really does a lot with it, in my opinion, is Alex there because that's where he runs and he runs the downtime scenario, which this Discord is and I got to give it to the Discord is an excellent environment for being able to do that for someone that enjoys Discord as much as I think what Alex does. And each of the DMs brings a strength, I think, into it with it being shared. And hopefully that's what's drawn folks in. They see that one that they get into a game. I've noticed we've had a lot of newbies join, and when I say newbies, it's not a derogatory. It's they're either new to our world or they're new to D&D, and they've been looking for a place to learn how to play and not feel like they're holding like a one-shot group back because they don't know the rules like that. And we're very and the UAG is very newbie friendly. You from what I've seen, but there again in the community, a lot of times I think our tabletop role-playing game communities are fairly new player friendly, newbie friendly. Some of the angst are self-imposed, and then sometimes you do get the little harsher groups or people out there once in a while. But you can't have everything. We're not perfect.
Be humans like anybody else. And while I'm thinking of it, you're talking about change and stuff in the UAG, and the Discord, it should be called, channels, really taken off the last couple of months. And yeah, Alex was a big part of that, and I think Matt's a big part of that too. And I mean, everybody who takes part on the Discord channel stuff definitely has helped building the UAG. But, you know, that's a big change in the last few months. And one of the things I would want to point out to the people who are thinking about playing online or joining the UAG or whatever is that, yeah, there's some of, I guess I'm an old timer now, even though I don't really think of myself that way. But people like you, Charlie, and Matt, and quickly growing Alex, too, even though he's not been around as long, he's definitely had a big influence. You know, maybe old timers and maybe dungeon masters. And I know a lot of people kind of look at Charlie as sort of the founding father of the UAG, though I know and he knows and would readily say there were other people involved with that 4 years ago or so. Despite these sort of long timers being around, ended in that not making the world stay the same. Even the rules within the UAG aren't always staying the same. You know, like Charlie mentioned polls earlier. You know, he does polls pretty often. And when an issue comes up or when just somebody has a suggestion about a change comes up, you know, or a fresh idea for something as far as like the rules and things and the setting goes, here's to listening to that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we can't, you know, the guild can't be everything for everybody all the time. Nothing can, but, you know, we don't just shoot down people's ideas. So, open, you know, again, in the last 6 months, especially, AIREWOOD has changed, expanded, Illumina has changed and expanded. The characters have definitely changed. And even the rule sets within the guild itself. I mean, it's still 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, but it's like the tier system for experience points and stuff that are a little different maybe than what most people are familiar with. I shouldn't say rules, the guild guidelines, you know, they do change and they are updated from time to time.
Oh yeah.
And again, that's at the response of the players, you know, the people involved.
And like talking about Chapo and him running a series campaign on a different part, a different continent. It was because he took the initiative and said, hey, where's over there on the Upper Kingdom, Lower Kingdom, Pantherway? Where's that go off to the right? And like that. So he asked me, and I said, well, I haven't really thought about it. I've focused on what we see right in front of us right now. With the world as we have it then. So he forced me into making an expansion off of that. So we now have a whole new kind of finished part of that continent. And for him to play and other DMs too. It's not locked into there. As far as that, it's you know, there's a lot of undiscovered area over there. But even within the main original part of AIREWOOD, there's a lot of undiscovered areas there. Even though you look back, you see villages, towns, dots all over the place. But there's more, if you look at it, there's more wilderness or undiscovered frontier out there than there are known. As far as so there's a lot of room for our DMs and players really to play around and have fun there. And with that, we have a kind of like a co-working existence with AIREWOOD, the island up there, and the up in the sea there in the north, which I am sharing along with in another product with another group of guys that are doing something asimilar to what we do with the UAT, a shared world and work, and that's what that is, and that's called Otis there. That's being there. It's kind of like an Adventures League, but they're not ready yet to really put that out to have members come to it. But
Yeah.
when it does, from the play testing that I've done with our little part, and what some of the others, it's a fun world, and it has really interesting things on the continents with different DMs have put together. So it's really been, and I know players will enjoy it. Not that I'm trying to push that too, but I do want to give them a shared point because we share as AIREWOOD, we co-share, kind of co-share or whatnot. That island of AIREWOOD and like that, and that's helped me actually flesh up Bardwood as far as that for what the city looks like, some of the shops, and some other things in it for that can also be used for our guys in the UAG or our guys here in AIREWOOD total as far as that. So we have those things going on, and the thing that makes it perfect, in my mind, anyways, perfect. I'm kind of prejudiced because this is one product I can say I built this as far as AIREWOod itself as a world. It was my old world that I started back in 1979, 1980. And what I played my games in and around there. At those times. It's adjusted here and there and kind of melded and grew. But you know, with all that, and it's going to even continue at times. But the one thing I think is perfect about it, get back on point, is that this isn't on necessarily the prime material plane. It's a demi plane is where AIREWOOD's attached. That's why you can get with a demi plane, you can get any other plane you need to get. How hard and how easy to particular planes up to DM because maybe you got only one, two gates to get you that plane, or harder to get there, or whatnot. But with the original concept of this is a demi plane, a world in a demi plane, really allowed for a lot of flexibility and fluid play.
Yeah. That's every now and then one of the newer dungeon masters will approach me about, hey, I've got this cool idea, but I think it's big for AIREWOOD or too big for Illumina. Like they're scared they're going to shake things up too much. My general response to that is, I usually have two responses. One is, like you said, there's a lot of room on the map. You know, there's whole cities and continents that the guild hasn't even gone to or has had very little interaction with. So there could be things happening there. Two, there's no real reason to be worrying about because you can always just take the player characters to another universe, or they can go through a portal or something. If a dungeon master is like, you know, if you want 3 dragons to show up, not that I'm suggesting anybody do that, but you know, you're afraid 3 huge ancient dragons would like destroy Illumina and all surrounding lands. Well, then you don't have to have it happen in the AIREWOOD or around Illumina. You know, you could have it happen further away, or again, you could just through some kind of portal to this other world to do it. You know, I do that with my maze adventures. Basically, they're going into another world all the time. Chapo does it, I think, more or less with the Jubei adventures. You know, that would open up some freedom to dungeon masters if they feel strained, but if they're concerned about changing too much within the world.
and we have what Darren doing the Shrine of Tomokon from the Yawning Portal. We have that going on too. So we do have quite a flavor like what is the Isle Horse or whatever. I told him that'd be a great place. He was wondering where to run it from. I don't know if he chose that, but I suggested right down there. Nobody's done much with it. It fits, that island's environment kind of fits that. And I said, you use AIREWOOD, the city down there, as the home base into the stories to drive you from if you so choose. So and that's the there again. I think that's one of the finer aspects, the pros. And we do have some cons because there's times when story arcs collide in an ugly fashion. There's other times when big red dragons steal money from Unnamed City Ball, which gets people excited and frustrated. and then when said red dragon comes back and steals the vault and has three mages on it shooting at the party. And that was a fun adventure. My character that was in that, who ran that?
Alex?
I want to say that was Alex.
Yeah, I think it was.
My character, Arrows, was playing along good, and then all of a sudden, critical saving throw, so he's drooling on himself for pretty much the rest of the adventure, because his charisma goes down one, his intelligence goes down one. So he hides and scared for what's going on, or certain things. Try to play that on up. And then I think the game after that, I played in that was Chapel. And I played with PTSD from because of that event, which I had fun with. I think it added something flavor how you take from some of these massive combats that we've had lately. That how it you make a couple failed saves and how it could affect you a little long term. As far as that.
That's an games are probably more dangerous now than they were, say, a year ago. But part of that goes back to, when we opened up when we came up with the tier system for characters to get to higher level. We now have a lot more characters at higher level. Is it like really high levels? But we do have a number at 9th and 10th level now for sure. Have to come up with more powerful challenges for those upper level characters. So yeah, like I said, things have gotten probably a little more deadly, a little more dangerous in the last few months anyway, but I think that's a natural extension of having higher level characters.
Oh yeah. And talking about some of that, as a player, because you're a player in this game, that I'm running on that tier 3, there with the Dark Queen. How do you like the change in the aspect on the chaos magic?
It doesn't bother me, but my there's not a caster, so if I were a caster, it might tick me off a little bit, but it doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like it, actually. Depending on what happens with that northern adventure, could potentially see that chaos magic expanding to the rest of the world or the plane even. I would hope it wouldn't be a permanent thing necessarily. But I mean, me personally, I kind of like it. it definitely throws an element of the unknown into the game because you don't know what's going to happen. And a lot of players played back in the 70s and 80s, and there were other systems available back then than Dungeons and Dragons that we don't have now. Some of those systems, casting a spell wasn't an automatic thing, like a real powerful wizard in some of those other systems. There was a chance a spell could fail, or it could backfire, or even awful things could happen. So I'm a little more familiar with that sort of.
Yeah, in first edition, AD&D, your wizards and like that always had a percent of spell failure possible, especially when they reached for a spell that was above them or from a scroll or things like that. There's a percent by associated with their intelligence. And, 5e is kind of drifted from that. It's a faster, kind of easier game that way, which is okay. 5e is the flavor now type thing, and it really does taste a lot like what first edition to me anyways.
It does.
And a lot of things that I've migrated into here. That's why bringing AIREWOOD over into 5e really wasn't as hard as I thought it might have been.
Yeah, probably 5th edition's probably more like 1st edition has been other editions, except maybe 2nd. I mean, just 1st edition with a few changes.
Yeah.
Started. That's how it started. It definitely, the rules expanded more later on when you had that.
Go ahead.
UAG has at least been 5th edition D&D so far. Who knows what the future will hold? Who knows anytime soon, but eventually there will probably be a 6th edition Dungeons and Dragons. No, Pathfinder 2.0 is coming out. I shouldn't say that I'm not a fan of Pathfinder. Pathfinder's not my game at this point in my life, my gaming life. Anyway.
I've never played Pathfinder, and I don't hold nothing against it because if you never played it, you can't reasonably talk bad about it. In my opinion.
And did you ever play 3rd edition D&D?
Oh yeah. I played first, second, 3.5, and a little bit of 4th. I didn't. Fourth just didn't get it for me. 3.5 and second, first. I liked better, and then 4th edition was kind of short-lived, and then they came out with 5th, and then with the advent of 5th, that's kind of stuck right now because it does give me the flavor of a lot of the earlier first, second edition.
But if you played 3.5 and you played Pathfinder, I mean, it's pretty much. There's some prestige classes and things are a bit different, but for the most part, it's just like an expansion of 3.5.
Now one that I did play for a little bit. Friends of mine there, and I haven't heard a lot of them from it. It's probably died. as far as that was EverQuest. As far as that. It was so thick. The core book on that was thick. There's a lot of rules. It was like 3.0, 3.5, but different type of thing.
And back when 5 were kind of a big deal, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, they had so there were all kinds of other D20 time. But yeah, I don't know if the guild is around in another 4 years, and hopefully it will be, and it seems to be stronger now than it's ever been. So I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. Who knows? The people involved at that time might want to switch to or something. I don't know. I don't. Things are now. I wouldn't want to make a switch like that, but who knows what the future will hold.
Oh yeah. I don't see switching, leaving roots behind, so to say. I think AIREWOOD and UAG probably always be a D&D based system, but
I personally think 5th edition D&D is going to be around for a good long while. I think that is kind of the approach, the marketing approach Wizards of the Coast is taking towards 5th edition. Not just focusing on it as a game, but more as, it's definitely not like 3rd or 2nd edition where especially 3rd edition, my gosh, where you had like 2 or 3 new rule books coming out every month.
Oh yeah. That 3rd 3.5 seems like all the different rules, archetypes, prestige classes, books that came out was just being more or less generated for capital. But I think the corporate view for D&D from Wizards of the Coast right now has changed from that to more, and it's still business, so don't get me wrong, they have to make money, or else it's going to go south. But it's more as far as what does the D&D community want. They're looking. They're taking like the play test. They're doing a lot more play testing things. That's why we have the Arcana, where it's not official play test, so they get the feel, see where they got to adjust, if they got to adjust, or just throw the bathwater out on something. So, and from Jeremy Crawford and Mike Merles right now, from most of the stuff I've seen from them as they've talked on interviews and things, I don't see us leaving 5th edition anytime soon. Now, things may change. That may be the dynamic they'll have to do at some point, but I think probably good for another year or two anyways.
At the very least, if not 4 or 5 years even, maybe. I think they went after their market a different way and tried to expand the market. And I think, I don't think it would be any surprise to say that that's a success, because I would think D&D as a brand name and as a game are probably more popular now. And as far as just the sheer number of people playing. And online gaming's had a huge impact on that too.
Well, I gotta say, it has. It wasn't until I was in Europe that I picked up on this just because I wasn't able to find a live actual tabletop group that would stay long enough. You'd be at one base over there, and you'd run a series of games. I'll call it. It should have been a campaign, but it ends up being a series of games. You go through maybe 10 games or so, maybe 15, and then guys moves, and then it falls apart, and try and find somebody else. Where the online community here that we have, it has drawbacks, yes, but it has pluses. But the biggest plus is the fact that it doesn't matter where you're at, as long as you have a solid internet connection. You can play with somebody at some time. Just how motivated you become. And that's where I think one of the great pros with the UAG and AIREWOOD has been is that we have so much going on now that someone can come in pretty much any day and maybe get into a game that I think we're averaging about 1.5 games a day on average. Because
lately, yeah.
Because we'll have two, three games some days. So in other days we'll just have one. But
and we've been having a lot more late night games too.
Yeah.
From the East Coast time anyway, it's late night games.
Yeah. Late night games there, which help the Pacific Coasters and those. And I know I try to run my games a little earlier to grab besides the East Coast, the European and like that over on that side a little time frame that way.
Yeah.
So we try our biggest problem child as far as reaching out to time zone is really probably Australia.
Probably is.
Because we've got a couple. Well, we got an Australian member now, actually a lady, but we had one or two before, and it's just hard for them to try to get into a game from the way things got scheduled. I know they got frustrated.
Yeah. Had a number of players from Europe, and we've had a number of players from Central and South America. And a few from Australia.
Yeah.
We're in the offhand from Asia, but I may just not be remembering.
I don't know anybody actually from Asia. Maybe Southwest Asia, possibly, but
yeah, maybe.
But as far as that, and we got one or two DMs that are over in Europe. Because you got Caius over there. And
Christopher, definitely.
Yeah, Chris. And like that. So and that I think that's one of the pros there because they'll schedule games that are convenient for them because they're the DM. Time-wise, thinking of the players too, but it allows us to be more responsive to the community we're trying to serve.
Yeah, there has been a shift lately in the last later games. Say like 6 p.m. to midnight time, which that's neither good nor bad. It just is what it is. It's where we're getting a lot of players right now. Whereas maybe a year ago it seemed like there were a lot more daytime games by Eastern time.
Oh yeah. And
that affects who shows up too and who's active in the guild.
Yep. And my games most of the time are daytime games because of I'll run them sometimes. The majority 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time now, which puts them reasonable for European members. Anywhere from 8 to 10 o'clock at night for them. And
I will say, since we were talking about good and bad both, I do know one of the occasional frustrations I have in the UAG is it's not just a UAG, it's an online gaming thing. It's like whenever I put up a game and I put up a date and I put up a time, like within an hour of me putting the game up, I get bombarded by people like, game to this time, or can't change the game to that time, or or can you change the day on it or whatever. And if I can, I will. And when you're getting hit by 3 or 4 different people and they're all wanting different times and this and that, I know people want a game, but point where you just say, no, I can't change it. It's got to stay what it is because you can't satisfy everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, you saw this weekend. I had 2 games.
Yeah.
Planned, and then life happened to people, and and ties on board with this too. We as DMs and players and like that know that life happens. That something crops up like that, or you just can't make some of those things. And sometimes from the DM perspective, the story arc that you're in, most of mine kind of continue. There's some main characters in there that it's hard to continue that story arc without them. So you got it forces you to try to change to the ones that you have to have. And not saying we don't try to change everybody, but like Ty said, we can't please everybody. But I think all those games I changed within the day and time on those, trying to help things out within the first hour, 2 hours, 2 or 3 times, and then finally got to where I'm at with it, settling with it, and we'll just have to manage because if I kept up with it, then trying to change, make it happen, maybe another month before the stars align and the earth takes right for it. So. But that is a con. But it doesn't matter. It's AIREWOOD, it's UAG, any of the games that online experience that, I think more so than tabletop ones. But even the tabletop, even local tabletop games go through that at times too. So it's just part of the social effect of our community.
People, I don't know everybody's personal or life or business situation or whatever, but some people, like I have a lot of time I could make available, but not always.
Well,
maybe.
Well, I'm in the same boat. I'm retired. I got a lot of time I can. But there's certain junctures where you have when you're broken down, man, you got doctor's appointments and you can't change it into that.
There's family things and stuff. Yeah.
So, but I guess we've beaten this horse pretty hard, and we can end this if you want. Unless you got some more pros and cons to put on out there. I know this is a pilot podcast slash Worldcast, and
no, I can't think of anything else I need to add. Yeah, this was just kind of a general current state of the guild sort of podcast.
And they're introducing a new method to get things out to the populace and like that. I'll go ahead, Ty, go ahead and give an outro if you want to. And
this is Ty Johnston, one of the Dungeon Masters from the Unnamed Adventurers Guild. First, we thank you for being here and putting up with our nonsense for the last 45 minutes or so. Guild members, I hope you found something of interest. If you're not a guild member, I hope you'll consider playing with us. You can look up the Unnamed Adventurers Guild. Facebook's probably where we're easiest to find, but you can also look around Discord, do channels. You can look up Unnamed Adventurers Guild on YouTube if you want to see some of our game adventures, how different people run and stuff. And hopefully that will, I'll shout out to the One Shot group on Facebook. If the UAG isn't exactly your thing, but you want to test out, just play one time online to see how things are going. If you're new to online gaming and stuff, the One Shot, a great place to get started with. In fact, I believe the guild sort of was originally an offshoot of the. And, as always, because I used to work with the guys, I'll throw a shout out to the Nerdarchy guys. You can definitely find Nerdarchy videos are easy to find on YouTube. There's also their website, nerdarchy.com, with lots of articles and images and even links to their videos there. Charlie, anything you want to add?
Yeah. Don't forget Nerdarchy's Discord. They got a Discord now
too,
as far as I. Yes. The UAG and everything is an outcropping from the OSG, so we do thank them for the assistance, and a lot of times if I know myself, I have questions on certain things because they handled, they got more members, and they have more issues that crop up and have worked through them, ask for guidance, like a teenager asked Pop, how he did things in his day, and to try to help make sensible decisions. And I definitely like to thank in role play, their Nathan or Neffy for the work he did on making the map that I had for AIREWOOD into such a beautiful thing instead of my hex thing that I have, which I still use for measuring distance. Really quick and easy. And drop places there for some of the help mapping in alone and such. And always Nerdarchy, any of the players and DMs that are involved and enjoy the product. I want to thank them too. So with that, this is Charlie Cole from the World of AIREWOOD and the Woods Talk broadcast saying have a great day. Roll 20s. If you can't roll 20s, you roll current ones. Roll them with glass.
It's fun sometimes.
Yeah. Let's see here. Turn.